Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you guys are watching this. I really appreciate you guys coming out for this one. Got a hair on my arm. Yet. Anyways, I wanted to let you guys know, I want to give you a little bit of an update on a few things. I've had a lot of people asking me recently about my weight loss or just congratulating me on my weight loss. I really appreciate that, guys. I have struggled with my weight my entire life. The biggest I ever was 285, and that does not include any muscle because I'm not muscular at all. I don't work out, I don't do none of that stuff. It's just not for me. I mean, it's for everybody, just I don't make it a priority, and I should. Anyways, I made a video a few months ago about I lost 56 pounds, and now the car was faster. It was a kind of a funny video about weight loss, but I wanted to give everyone an update that I am now at 64 pounds. I have lost 8 pounds since then, and my goal is to get down to 200. Right now I'm at 221, so we're almost there. I really appreciate your guys' encouragement and support. I've had a few people even tell me that they have themselves started watching their weight and trying to eat healthier, and they've also lost several pounds. So you guys, whoever you are, please keep it up. I really appreciate you guys letting me know. It's really exciting to hear you guys' feedback and see what you guys are changing in your lives because of something you saw on YouTube. So anyways, there is a trend on YouTube that I see a lot of, not just with Corvettes, but with any kind of car, and it is the 5 things I hate about XYZ. There is a YouTuber that I love. His channel name is Vehicle Virgins. His name is Parker Nierenstein. He lives in LA. He started his whole channel on car reviews, and what his basic videos was he would get a car, rental car or whatever, a friend, and he would tell you 5 things he loves about the car, 5 insane features of the car, and then he would follow those videos up with 5 things I absolutely hate about the car. It was funny because in the videos before the hate video, he would talk so good about the car and he loves everything about it, and then the next video is 5 things I absolutely hate, and he's got a thumbnail of him like kicking his car, and then you're like, well, what could you possibly hate? But I think anybody watching this who has a car or has been in a car, whether you love the car or not, there's always something about the car that you just don't like. I absolutely love my C4. You guys know I have a C4 Corvette here. She is, of course, looking very good in my own humble personal opinion. So there are things that I absolutely hate about this car. What are they? We're going to get into them. But there's 5 things that I hate / despise about this car. And we're going to get into them right about now. Number 1, we've just begun. That was weird. All right, anyways, number 1, the number 1 thing that I absolutely hate about this car, and this is something that isn't like a legit, I just don't like it. I literally hate this about the car. And a lot of people who have Corvettes this generation will understand exactly where I'm coming from. And that is this thing right here. What is that, you ask? Well, it is a cup holder. But is it really a cup holder? Does it actually hold cups? Let's just say you go to Sheetz or your local gas station. Around here, there's a gas station called Sheetz. Let's say you go to a Quick Trip or Exxon, or you name a gas station, and you go in there and you get yourself a bottle of Snapple. Now, everyone who likes iced tea probably likes Snapple. This is Diet Snapple because I am, well, on a diet. And I really do enjoy diet drinks. I always have, my family's been diabetic a long time, so I've always been used to diet drinks. And yes, there's people out there that are going to comment and say diet's worse than sugar. Don't care. This is what I drink, like it or not. Anyways, back to the video point. If you were to go to Sheetz or any gas station and buy this, and you want to put it in your car, let's just say you want to put it in this cup holder. Boom. Well, that ain't going to work. Well, let's try this one. That ain't going to work. The bottle, this is not a very big bottle, guys. This is a standard glass bottle, and it does not fit in this car whatsoever. So if I have driven in a car with these before, what I do is I just sit it there like this, and that's just what happens. Now let's just say a bottle of Diet Pepsi. Now Diet Pepsi has different sizes, as you guys know. They have, bigger bottles. This here is a 16.9 fluid ounce bottle. They have bigger ones, they have smaller ones, but this is what we buy, is what I had in the fridge, what I wanted to show you guys with. So if you want to put this in here, as you can see, it fits. Great, right? Also, let's say you want to get a can, Diet Coke. That also fits. Now this is all perfect and dandy, for the can, it's kind of annoying because once it's open, there's no way to close it. So when you're shifting gears, then as most of you who have a Corvette, especially a manual, like to shift gears, and you're not one of them, oh, I'll just shift to second or I'll shift to third. It's more like, and while you're doing that, the soda will spill out. It will literally come out of this hole and go all over everything, and who wants that in their Corvette? No one. So this is no good in a Corvette. This is all right, but whether it's in this cup holder or this cup holder, this is also something very stupid. Let's say you want to go into reverse. You can't, like, normally I would go like this, you know, and put it in reverse. Well, the bottle, as you guys can see there, gets in the way. You can't really do it because, well, that's stupid. So what you have to do is kind of go behind the thing like this, and then you get back. Well, as you guys see, you can't, the bottle does not want to sit in there unless it's crooked like that, as you guys can tell. Now, if it's up in this one up here, that's okay. But what if you have a sexy girl in the passenger seat, or let's say you're a girl and have a sexy guy in the passenger seat, or what if you just have a friend? Who cares? But you guys both have drinks. What are you guys going to do? Make the passenger hold theirs because they can't put it in this cup holder? No, it's just stupid. So either way, either cup holder, like, it's just dumb. It's not a good setup. Now, I do understand that, like, you know, things are tight in these cars. You know, they're sports cars, and like you only have a certain amount of room here. But to me, that is one of the most annoying things about the Corvette. And a side note to this is these cup holders get super hot. I don't know if it's just my car or what, but like if you have a drink in here, or even if you just like put your hand here, like in the wintertime, when I drive this thing in the wintertime with the top off and it's still kind of chilly, I actually place my hands here to keep my fingers warm because there's so much heat coming through here. So if you guys have a cold drink, no matter what it is, and you have it in here, the heat's gonna heat that cup up pretty darn quick. Unless it's coffee, then of course that's not a bad idea to have a heated cup holder, but it's not meant to be a heated cup holder. But that concludes the number one thing I hate about the Corvette is those stinking cup holders. The second thing that I absolutely hate about the C4 Corvette, now this is nothing that they could really, I guess at the time it was built, this is a 1991. At the time that it was built, you probably couldn't get away with this, but as you guys know, the entire body of a Corvette, this generation especially, I mean, they're all, for years and years have been fiberglass. I'm just saying, for this video, this car is all fiberglass. And fiberglass can be heavy. It's also, I mean, it's also really nice for a lot of other things, but I hate this. This hood is ridiculously heavy. Now, like I said before, I definitely do not work out. So I'm not like a strong person to begin with, but this hood, I swear, I mean, I know there's a lot to it. It's a very big hood. It's one of the biggest hoods on a production car probably ever. I mean, I know there are bigger, but it's huge and it's fiberglass. It's thick. I mean, you guys can see here. I mean, this is probably, I mean, it's at least a 1/4 inch thick, or 6 millimeters, 6.35 millimeters if anyone is watching that wants to use metric. But it's very, very heavy. Can you imagine, like, if you were to drive this car with the hood on and then take the hood off and drive it again, I'm sure you'd feel a huge difference in power. But I just don't like and understand why the hood has to be so heavy. But again, it's fiberglass. I understand it, why it's heavy. But the newer Corvettes are much, much lighter. And especially when they have like carbon fiber, like on other cars, carbon fiber hoods, they're like, you can't even tell you're lifting anything because they're super light. But this is one thing that I hate about the Corvette, being how heavy the hood is. It just makes it annoying. Plus, closing it for me, I have to get these things greased up because they're not greased up right now. But if you slam it, it really sounds terrible, like it's gonna actually crack or something. But hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, the number two thing I hate about my Corvette is the fact that the hood is super heavy and just annoying. I mean, it's not I work around it. It's not like it's a pain in the butt every time I open it. It's a lot heavier than what you would expect it to be. Did you guys know that real fact number 950, that the first spam message was transmitted over telegraph wires in 1864? Wow. Oh, I gotta tell you guys a funny story about this. I was at an outdoor concert this past September, and my parents brought a cooler with a whole bunch of Diet Snapple in and soda and stuff like that. And I opened up my peach iced tea, and I smelled it, and it didn't smell bad. It just kind of smelled like a rotten peach, kind of, which I'm sure when you make, thousands of these a day, that tends to, happen. But I take a drink, and I'm like, it kind of tasted like a dead animal. Now, I've never tried a dead animal before. I'm not really sure how it tastes, but I can imagine how it would taste. And I'm like, that really stinks. I ended up drinking over half of this entire container of iced tea, and then I see something floating in the bottom of my, well, I guess it wasn't the bottom one floating. It was sunk. It was sinking into the bottom of the iced tea. I'm like, what the world is that? So I ended up like pouring it out in the grass. Here, ladies and gentlemen, it was an entire like 3-inch long dead worm. Yeah. I'm not one of them people to like get grossed out and like throw up or gag because of something like that. If you are and you just did, I'm sorry. You can pause the video and come back later if you'd like. I'm like, it stunk. Like when I got it out, like seeing the worm laying in the grass was just nasty. So I'm assuming that whenever the peaches were on the trees, a worm got up inside one of the peaches, and whenever they were in the Snapple plant, you know, I'm sure they looked for that kind of stuff, but one got by and ended up in my drink, and it was kind of nasty. But besides from that, I mean, yeah, let's get back to the video. Oh, and then there was number 3. Number 3, I have had to do twice since owning a car. I've owned a car for a little over 10.5 years, as most of you guys probably know by now. So thank God you don't gotta do this very often, because if you did, it would be an absolute just nightmare. But the battery on this thing, as you guys can see, Die-Hard is the only battery I use, whether you like it or not. That's what I use. I love them. All three of my cars have Die-Hard, and my other one does not because it's still the stock one. But you guys would probably think that, oh, it'd be easy to replace the battery. You just remove this, and pull it right out. Well, that's not the case. They actually have you remove, yes, I said remove, a fender, the actual fender of the car. This whole part from here to here, this whole thing, boop, comes out. Now, there's a screw up here, and then down in here, I don't know if you guys can even see this or not. I'm trying to find it. There, you guys can see there now. There's a little bolt right up there, right there. You have to get a little open end wrench up there and loosen that. You don't gotta take it out. You just loosen it, and then the panel slides out from that. So you have that, and you have this bolt here. And I mean, it's not a pain in the butt to have to do, because like, you only gotta do it a few times. You also gotta take out these screws here to hold in the wheel well liner. But one of the most annoying parts of this is that when you're putting it back on, see how this here is kind of like lower than this here is? It should be up a little higher. I've tried to adjust it 1,000 times, and I cannot get it to be a little higher, which is annoying. And if you have it too tight, when you open the door, this here, you can see that little white mark right there. That's from rubbing on here one time by accident. I didn't realize I had it too tight, and when the door opened, this rubbed and just caused the whole, well, as you can see, it's a mark, so it's annoying. But I think, now again, like I say, guys, these are, I'm just complaining about things because I was trying to find 5 things I hate about the car, and these are things that I do hate. Like when I changed the battery last year, and I'm like, well, I think it was 2 years ago, I'm like, man, I just hate this. Like, it literally takes, I don't know, 5 minutes to get that fender off, and then another 5 minutes to put it on. Whenever, you know, most cars, you remove one bolt, pull the battery out, and put the other one back in. It takes seconds. Not a big deal, like I said, because you only got to do it once every several years. But when you do have to do it, it's kind of annoying. But it can be done, and you can do it without scratching your paint. I just was not aware of that whole alignment thing whenever I did it. But I think that's kind of goofy. A lot of your newer vehicles, Corvettes, other stuff, have the batteries in the trunk to help with weight displacement and having like the weight be equalized all over the car. Some of them have them in the trunk. Some of them have them all over the place, different places underneath the seats, whatever. But in this car, it's right there, and that fender has to be removed completely to get the battery out. And once you remove that fender, there is one bolt right there. How well you guys see? There's a bolt down there. And once you remove that bolt, the battery just slides right out of the car, just out like that, and you put the new one in. So that is the third thing that I absolutely hate about this car. All right, the number 4th thing that I absolutely hate about the C4 Corvette. Now again, guys, I understand and fully, whatever the word is, I get it that back, you know, in 1991, which was like 28 years ago, excuse me, that technology wasn't where it is today. But these cars have this radio, as you guys can see, as most cars do, This one came with the Delco Bose Gold Series, CD player and tape player, and of course your tuner, your radio. And honestly, it sounds great. I mean, for being 29 years old, sorry, 28 years old, whatever else I said. Excuse me. The Bose speakers still sound really good. They're not like terrific, but again, they're old. But as you guys may have seen in my video last summer about everything that is broken with my Corvette, yes, I have not fixed that problem yet because haven't gotten to it. But I have started. Be proud of me. Be very proud of me. So as you guys might not know, this radio is actually not just the only thing that there is involving the radio. Typically, when you turn this thing on like this, the radio would display the station or the CD track number, whatever. And when you do that, the antenna in the back of the car goes up. And then when you turn the radio off like this, the antenna goes down. I have no idea why. Just one day out of the blue, random, I had the radio off and I went to turn it on and the antenna didn't go up and nothing came on the radio. I'm like, what the world? Now this radio was just refurbished by a place here in Mechanicsburg called RT Grimm. The radio itself, like this part right here, the head unit, is fully refurbished. It's been done by professionals. It's good to go. If you push the volume button now, like it does display a time. That time's not correct. It's actually 6:38 right now, but it does display a time. So I know that the display is not broken. Nothing in here is broken, but the problem, I believe, lies right there. Now you're probably wondering, what do you mean right there? All I see is carpet and vents and a floor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is a thing called I don't know what it's called, but I call it the radio brain, or the brain of the radio, because there is a silver box. It's probably about 4 or 5 inches wide by 9 inches long, about 1 inch thick. That is like the actual brain of the radio. It's what gives the radio all its information. It's what makes the antenna go up. It's what does everything. If that brain's not working, and to even prove it to you, whenever I took the radio head unit to go get refurbished, they actually could not refurbish the radio or even work on it without having the brain that goes with it to be able to have it work. So the brain is a very important part. I mean, just like your human body, if your brain ain't working, there's something wrong with your whole body. If your brain is fried, you might not be here. So underneath here is this brain. Now, it's not easy to get to. Some people say, oh, it's easy. Some people say it's hard. It's like middle of the road. If you want to get to it, you actually have to become a contortionist, and you gotta open the door for one. You gotta lay on your back on that thing right there, and you gotta put your head down on the floor, and then you use your hands up here to get to it. Now, once you get all this carpet out and you can actually see it, getting to it's still kind of annoying because I don't know how to even fit that many wires into a vehicle, but there is a ton of wires up there. There's some bracketing, a bunch of stuff that has to be moved out of the way to get to it. Once you get to it and undisconnect the harness, you can pull it out. I believe that my radio brain has fried. I think it is broken. I don't think it's working anymore because this, like I said, has been refurbished and works great the last time that it's been checked with anything. So I need a brain. I've been told by lots of people there's a something doctor or Corvette doctor or something, I forget what it's called. If you guys know, please let me know, that can refurbish them. Also, you can probably get new ones. Now, I am going to the Corvettes at Carlisle Car Show in 2 weeks, and I'm hoping to find one there or possibly replace mine or talk to somebody about getting mine fixed. So I gotta get mine out of the car here soon to do that. But I think that is the problem. I did check the radio fuse, and I even replaced it with a new fuse, and it did not change the problem. I even took the radio out the other week. I completely took all this stuff out, took the radio out. There's no actual fuse on the radio unless it's inside the radio. If it is, I don't know that. And if you do know that, please let me know. But the harnesses were all good. Everything was connected properly. So everything like that was perfectly taken care of. So I think it's the radio brain. It's not the fuse. It's not this. I got to get a radio, but I just think it's dumb that they had to. Why not make the brain part of the radio? Like, put the brain inside the radio so that everything works in conjunction, and then if something's wrong, you can take out one unit to fix it. But that's not the way they did it, unfortunately. So, yeah. because a lot of new cars, you know, you have a head unit and that's it. Your head unit's junk, you replace the head unit, you're good to go, but not in a C4 Corvette. So that is the fourth thing that I absolutely hate about this car, and really wish they would have done that differently. Well, we are already at number 5, and that's kind of hard to believe, and you're gonna wonder why I'm having my seatbelt on. Well, because the next thing that I hate, the last thing that I hate about my car, and this is really annoying. I actually had somebody on Instagram just the other day ask me about it on their car because they said they absolutely hate it, and let me know if you guys have the same problem. But there is a thing on Corvettes this generation, and I don't know how many years this lasted, but they have this light that comes up on your dash when you're shifting from first to second. And sometimes it'll say shift 1 to 4. And when I first got the car, I'm like, what the heck's that mean? So, and like when it does that, for some reason, I cannot get it out of first gear unless I go beyond 20 miles an hour, which isn't hard to do in this car. But from what I read, it's like, just to get the best fuel economy, they want you to go from first gear to fourth gear, so you don't got to go through second and third and waste fuel. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Now, maybe back in 1991 it did work, but for me it does not. I'm going to try to show you guys the light here by driving it. Oh yeah. Oh, that's the best sound in the world. Oh yeah. Let's back her up here. Alright folks, you see right there where it says 1 to 4? That's what I'm talking about. So it wants me to go from first gear to fourth gear. As you guys can see, I'm in first gear, but like, it like won't let me get out of first gear. Now there it goes, because I tried it like multiple times there, but why does it do that? And as you guys can see, I was only doing like, what, 15 miles an hour when that light came on? Makes no sense at all. Like, I don't know how that's supposed to save fuel economy, and maybe it doesn't work anymore. Maybe that light's supposed to come on when you're like, it would make sense if it came on at like real high revs in first gear, because then you can just go from fourth. But when you're going 15, you can't go first to fourth. That's not gonna work. That's just stupid. I just think that's super annoying. I mean, like I said, it might not even work anymore. Like, that might not even be working anymore, because it may have used to come on at like high revs in first gear, but as you guys saw, it comes on at like 15 miles an hour, and I could not get it in a second until I try like 4 or 5 times, or if I get above 20 miles an hour. Let me know in the comments if you guys have the same problem, or if you guys do have that and it works properly how it's supposed to work, because that'd be interesting in knowing. I'm sure I could find it if I looked online, but I like communicating with you guys because you guys are legit. Anyways guys, I want to throw in one extra thing about this car that I don't like, so we'll make it 6, but I'll call the video 5. But I wish so bad that a lot of the older, the newer C4s, like the 90, like higher than 91s, of course, they have like a little thing in here that like opens up, and you can like stick storage and stuff in there. But like, I don't really have any place to put anything. Like, I do have this space right here, which is good for, you know, all kinds of stuff. By the way, this was the flower I used at my wedding back in 2012. Crazy, it's still in here. Anyways, so I do have this room in here, which I do put stuff in, but I wish I had something else, like to keep my phone over here, or anything at all. I mean, I could keep it in here, but that's pretty darn small for the phone. But that's something else I don't like about the car. But everything else about this car, as you guys know from before, I made a video of everything there is to love about the C4 Corvette. There's so many things to love about this car, guys. So many things to love. It's a great car. It's a beautiful car. It's got a lovely design. It's simple. It's just, I love the car to death. There's nothing about this car that I can literally say I hate with a passion. It is what it is. The car, you know, like I said, it's old. It's 1991. I was 2 years old when this car was made. So you have to kind of expect those types of things from the generation that it came in, the year it came in. Anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found it informative. I would really like to know from you folks what things you love or hate about your car. For this particular video, you can put in the things you hate. Also tell me the things you love. I don't care. Let me know what you guys hate about your C4 Corvette. It doesn't have to be a 91. It can be pre or post 91, whatever you guys want to do. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.